So it is on record that before we started this, Mike said, "Hey guys, let's power through these last 2 episodes."
Let's power through, he says. Let's just get it over with, he says.
Well, it's on the record that this is the saddest string of episodes in a Fresh Takes recording ever. It was not by my meaning. Although it probably would have been if we still only had the last 2.
Friendly reminder, I do hate it here now.
This is the point where I got in the anime where I'm like, what are you doing to me? Like, I'm still all for it. And my goodness, Honest needs to die. But I'm like, okay. So let's go through it.
Where even to start?
That Leone needs to go to horny jail.
Yes. Like, oh yeah, I force you to do this. When this is over, it has to be no.
I repeat, there's a scene in the anime that after Mine and Tatsumi are officially a thing, where she still tries to jokingly get Tatsumi to sleep with her, and then afterwards, Akame is alone in her room, and she says, "Don't worry, Akame. If I was a dude, I would totally sleep with you."
Okay.
And then Akame just goes, "No, this is better," and she hugs her.
Yeah. Go to jail.
Yeah. So I had mentioned in the previous episode with Run that
he was playing inside baseball.
Yeah, he was playing inside baseball, that too. But in about 2 lines, you got explained a good chunk of why he's in the Empire, and that is the part that is expanded in his plot line. You don't get to see that get resolved in the show. And it is resolved with him taking care of the reason why I'm okay, why that wasn't shown in the show.
It showed how the students died.
Yeah. It all around's a character, which I will introduce to you when we get to that thing, when we record our last session, which will be after the show's over, which is the main reason why I'm okay with why they didn't put it in the show. But anyway, last time I'm going to mention that. But yeah, the Empire not treating it as a crime. There's a little bit different of that. It's just like basically it was a crime, but they didn't care kind of thing. They were just like, we don't know who did it, so oh well, we're not going to investigate it. That was that kind of thing.
Yeah.
One thing that happens 9 times out of 10 in mech anime, and even in Gurren Lagann, when it makes legitimately no sense, when they do it because they use energy seagulls just made out of spiral energy, when they show birds for scale with things, right when Primus Imperatorus comes up, you see 2 or 3 like pigeons fly by to show that thing is like 1 billion feet tall.
Yeah.
You see what I was trying to get by explaining that it's really not a mech. He's just like in a thing and stuff's happening.
And like he screams to fire it type of thing.
Yeah. It's kind of just like it's his spirit connected to it sort of thing. And speaking of, Mike kind of had an epiphany where he forgot that the minister's name was Minister Honest. Are you guys catching on that the Emperor's parents might not have died of not sketchy circumstances?
I was also
I was like,
I was also about to comment, like,
had this poor innocent child believe that it was like someone did it. This person's on the loose. Totally not me.
I was gonna say, how dumb and gullible is this kid that like after like everything that Night Raid's done and after everything that like Death even has done, how does he still believe he's on the right side of history?
Don't know, and I'm gonna be honest.
Because
in the manga, I haven't found out how. That's what I was just about to say.
Like, you don't know how old he is, so
you don't know how old he is, and you also don't know, at least not because I have to read the last book still, so I don't know if there's any details in it. But again, I know how the book ends and I know the main points, but I don't know all the dialogue that spins in between it. I don't know if they ever mentioned how old he was when his parents died.
Yeah.
So I don't know if
and
he's
how
just
old
like,
he is currently. So
yeah, I would
I
guess
just go about like his
9.
parents died when he was young. The minister was the only adult figure in his life taking care of him. So he's a kid being naive, being spoon fed lies, and this
Yeah,
person, the minister raised him, so he's going to believe and think, like kind of like brainwashed in a way that like, oh, what
Yeah.
I'm doing is right because everyone else says so around me.
Yep. He has no cognitive memory of the Empire being any different, so he just feels like the behavior is correct. That's what I've
Yeah.
kind of gotten from it. I mean, I get it after a while. Like, the weird part is we're like, for 2 seconds, he sees that he's shot off. That's also my favorite thing with lasers in anime. It's the fire the laser. There's no explosives around. Line of laser on the ground, then it explodes afterwards. I'm like,
For
that's
the
never made
dramatic
sense.
effect.
Dramatic effect. And like that has never had a logical explanation ever. They don't even go, it laces the ground with hypoglycerin and then it just explodes. No, the laser just made the ground really angry and it exploded. But it's like he sees
The animated
field's on
logic
fire.
for dramatic effect.
Yes. Like he sees all the towns on fire and he goes, don't believe them! Damage is not happening! They're lying to you, it's fine!
Just don't look at the fire and people dying.
Those screams are not your citizens that you're murdering senselessly. It is
Those are
Night Raid
tears
that
of
is screaming.
joy.
Yeah, it is the 3 remaining members of Night Raid that are screaming. Don't worry.
You know what this is? This is the bicycle meme where
When he sticks the stick in the fire. It is pretty much. And then you're not wrong. But yeah, so he also mentioned that I try to think, this always bugs me, where I'm like, cool, this guy, this is an old dude that again at some point made Gaia Foundation, pure straight up makeup with his 48 set of just these great Imperial arms. The first one he makes is an 8 billion foot tall mech. And then goes, you know what? Now I think I'm gonna make swords.
you mean they couldn't all just be mechs?
I'm like,
Well,
that would be the
okay.
one where you go, what do we have left? The last one is a last resort. In my opinion, that'd be the last one they made. Or they just ran out of resources where we're like, well, shit. We spent half our resources on the first one.
Didn't like the person that made the Imperial want it like peaceful, like not violent type of stuff?
I don't remember exactly what it said, but it's just that he was obsessed with protecting his people.
Yeah, so okay, protecting his people. So that's why the first one was kind of like the laser, like as like a defense mechanism. Like, oh, what if we need like offensive stuff?
That makes sense, I guess.
That's why a lot of the weapons came after. That's how I'm looking at it.
Yeah, I just like how it goes from Gurren Lagann level sized mech.
Well, that whole episode was just an homage.
It's up
Changed,
there.
like I'm changing my mind. That whole entire episode was just a huge homage.
It did. It even had the bro coming back to.
I know. I was like, the Spider-Man crying, like, bro.
Oh, that whole thing was great. And everybody else who died before us, they had the flashbacks and stuff. But it was
so everybody like, oh yeah, but now when these characters fucking die, yeah, we're gonna remind you.
Whenever you have a flashback. But what I was gonna say was, it's like you get giant mech, swords, mascara, and then like one where they don't show it in the show, but it's one of the weird ones. It's a bow and arrow that after you say the name of your target and the arrow doesn't stop until it hits it. It doesn't say it kills it, just hits it. And I'm like, the thought process went from that to that to that. And they don't show what order these get made in. I would love to be fascinated if the guy just went, this is his thought process as he went through what he wanted made. But, and he did say that he brought like all the minds from across the world, like, and it shows they have anime because Lub says there's manga at his shop. So maybe one of them was like, listen, I'm the one guy that likes mech anime. Can I build one? They had Liron sitting there going, listen, I got an idea. But yeah, I did very much love I'm a big fan of the whole remembering who is before you. And one thing that Tatsumi does throughout the show is show that he's like, oh, I'm undermatched, but I'm still gonna try. Oh, I'm useless. Why am I so bad at my job? Da, da, da. This is the first time where he's like, don't underestimate me. I will kick your ass.
Yeah.
Other people have died. I'm not stopping right now. There's finally more. I was like, thank God. But then immediately I'm like,
Yeah.
you're dead. Because you said that, you are dead.
And everyone who has said like, I have to live to fight another day, dead.
Yeah, and because
Yeah, like
everyone in the Empire went to the Prometheus school of running away from things, Tatsumi had to die. But we did get Wave finally getting his head out of his ass, so...
I'm
yes.
not gonna lie, I was kind of happy that like he realized
Same.
it's just like, yo, I'm gonna join and help
Yes.
out. I owe you one.
Yes.
In hindsight, he always felt too good to be on the wrong side.
He did. He was that one person that
Yeah,
just
like
didn't
he
have the
didn't
correct
really
information.
fit in with the Jaegers, and like he felt it immediately.
No, he doesn't fit with any of the groups. Anytime a group comes up, you can like kind of see, like, even Run is just one of those people who's like, I'm the reconnaissance guy. He was always just that person that was like, why are we doing this? Like, no, 5 minutes. Explain to me, what was the purpose of that? Like, even with Suryu, when those people just stole food that they needed to eat. No, I'm going to have Koro eat you. Why? And he's just, what did you do that for? What was the point?
Yeah.
He's like, he's basically their common sense.
But
yes.
with Tatsumi, I'm not gonna lie, I did not suspect him to die.
I guess I can kind of reveal it now.
Is that what was spoiled for you?
Yeah.
Oh.
That was spoiled for me too, like 5 years before I even watched the show.
This was like
Mm-hmm.
this was one of the random YouTube suggestions that was recommended to me. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Oh no. That was like, yeah, like I'm sitting in a car. It's a buddy of mine. I love him, but my buddy has no filter and he just expects everyone has seen everything. So
oh God, I hate those people.
It's like one of those people like, Masao, do you have any want to ever see the movie 7? Do you know what the movie 7 is, or would you care if I spoiled it?
Yeah, and I'm probably not gonna watch it.
He's one of those people that like we're just sitting in the car and like I mentioned the what's in the box and he goes, oh, it's your dead wife's head. I'm like, why would you say that? That is like the pinpoint final thing of 7. And I just did that because I got given a gift from someone. And it was with 2 people that I wanted to watch that movie with. And we were going to literally watch it like 3 days later.
Wow.
I'm like, are you serious? And then like another one, we're just sitting in the car. And it was with a friend of ours from Canada that come down. And we're just chilling, talking about anime. Because again, I was like going across the list. And then all of a sudden it's just like, yeah, I didn't understand the plot device of the show. It focuses on this one dude and he dies in the second to last episode. I'm like,
well, now, like, then what's the whole point of trying to get someone to watch it?
like, why would you say that?
And here's the thing, I usually don't care about spoilers because for me, it's not about the what, it's about the why and the how. But
yeah.
I make some exceptions to like certain critical moments. Like here's an example. I don't care. I didn't care that I got if I got spoiled for like Spider-Man No Way Home that Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire in it.
Yeah.
Sorry if you didn't know that already, but
yeah, like something like that. Like I look at it as like a minor spoiler. You don't know like why it happened.
Yeah.
But something like Tatsumi's death is not something I want to see in my suggestions.
No.
Yeah,
and it's the sucky thing about
because
the
like
algorithm.
that's like a heavy spoiler.
It is. And like another one before we go off, like on the topic is like what's not acceptable. Again, I had not seen Death Note. And like, if you're talking about people that you know, this was a long time ago. I have seen it. It was before that.
I was ready to have words
when my
roommate
now. Moved in, we finally watched it. Like I always had the intention. It's just that I was never into like watching anime a lot at the time, so I didn't know like how to watch a decent chunk of it. I never.
I had to go off on you so hard.
Yeah, but it was like, and then all of a sudden, friends are just talking, and when you talk about stuff around a person you know has not seen a lot of things, you shouldn't go over plot details. And he immediately mentions that L dies at the end of the first season.
Yo, come on.
That's not cool.
I'm like, bro. And then it did not take too much longer before, incidentally, weeks later, let me know that Light also died. Like, bro, what is the point of me watching the show?
Please don't.
Like, are you for real?
Shit. After they want to be spoiled.
Sorry if anyone watching this has not seen Death Note. I will put a giant spoiler tag.
Yo, please watch Death Note. Also read like the the one-shot manga he did afterward.
Oh, I didn't know that something existed. I'll have a look for that.
Yeah,
But-
it's
Go ahead.
like it goes like it's very short spoilers. It shows like Trump as like the president in the manga.
What?
Okay, but like it out of context, it sounds kind of funny, but I don't want to spoil it.
So
because-
he just jokingly said Trump was president?
no, like there's a scene where you literally see Donald Trump as the president.
Well, no, I mean like it wasn't in present day. It was right after the show came out.
Oh, the manga came out like last year.
Oh, so it
Or
was
like
while
to,
he was
or like
president.
yeah, like the
Okay.
so like it was sort of like in like that type of recent
Okay,
time.
no,
Okay,
that's
so
what I
that makes more
meant.
sense.
That's what I
Yeah,
meant
my
as a
bad.
joke. Like it was made out back then. He was like, "Ha ha, Trump is president." That's what I thought you meant. But
Yeah,
okay, got
no.
it. Yeah, but anyway, back to the show. There is a scene that it's one thing I wish I will honestly agree with the people from the manga that is different. And I mentioned when I showed you that, like, I was like, "Hey guys, remember when his eye went all starry weird?" Note for later. He starts transforming with his armor earlier in the show, and it gets progressively more badass, but there's also a different element that goes along with it that changes the ending of the show greatly. Won't get into it. Again, we'll go through that next week.
No.
Keep yourselves
But-
clear. But yeah, and then you get to see the line from Estet. Well, you get of course, again, Akame has another person that dies in her
No,
life.
Yeah,
It was just
like
it was getting them like and it was at
Yeah.
like I was done and I was like, all right, it's like 2 a.m. I started at late 'cause I just binge finishing a game, and then I was like, I'm gonna watch a little bit more, and I'm like, I'll finish one, and then that ended, and I'm like, well, I gotta watch it now. I can't not.
yeah, like I'm sad that Tasumi died, but in a way, I'm awkwardly happy
Mhm.
because like see like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure like part 1 like Jonathan dies.
Mhm.
And like I was so in awe with it, and that's how I got into JoJo because the main character died.
Character died. Oh,
And, like-
okay.
Because in shonen anime, like stuff like JoJo, Naruto, like it was like back then it was like very taboo to have the main character die. Like it was like kind of forbidden in
Mhm.
Shonen Jump, but like he did it anyway. Like they killed off Jonathan.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's why I was so fascinated that like the main character died in the show. In an anime in particular.
Yeah.
In
Huh.
general. That's why I'm kinda happy that like Tasumi died.
Oh no, I get you
Because
there.
like the plot armor did not protect him. The
No.
main character plot armor did not protect Tasumi.
I like that a lot, and to that exact same extent, that is one of the giant reasons why I like Gurren. They were not afraid to be like, "That's the leader of the show for 8 episodes."
and
Nope, now we're
it's-
talking about that kid. What? Everyone was like, "You have
So
to
that's-
nail those plot points out of the park, otherwise that bold move you took fails."
Like that's literally that episode, like spoilers if you haven't watched JoJo Part 1. When Jonathan dies, I was like, I love this show. Like I love this so much. They did not give a fuck about the main character in the very end.
How did you feel about when he came? Spoilers for part 3. When he came back with Dio riding his body.
It's like, yo, what the fuck? I was honestly I was so bad because in episode 1 you hate Dio.
Yeah.
No ifs, ands, or buts. Like you just hate Dio from episode 1.
Dog in
So
the furnace.
that part has got me even more like more frustrated
Yep.
with
Oh,
Dio.
exactly. Yeah.
Then later on, like I like part 3 Dio.
hmm
I hate part 1 Dio.
Yeah. Part 1 Dio is
So
kind of
much. Like, I-
somehow an edgelord compared to part 3, even though
Like
part
I
3 is
light
extreme
tweeted
edgelord.
watching JoJo like every week, every day I was watching JoJo, and like every other tweet was just me hating Dio up until part 3.
Yes. All right. Anyway, besides that,
Sidetracked.
got sidetracked. Sorry, I don't mind having those every now and then in there, break stuff up a little bit. But
It's JoJo.
So we have one episode left.
I'm not ready.
Anything at all you
not
want to
ready.
ask?
Who was right on the fucking bingo card? I'm gonna cry if it's me again. Because I think I have Tatsumi before
and one of the options you were correct about Tatsumi. I just don't remember if it's the final one.
Because I know Tatsumi I had at the bottom.
In the first round, if you like, and I mean by extra characters, I mean Sue and Chelsea. If you add them in to make them in the accurate order, you were right about Bulat, mine, and three.
Oh, ouch.
But then when you got down to round 2, when you guys switched your stuff up a little bit,
I think
you bumped people around. The only person that was right about anything was you guessing mine's death.
I really do hate it here.
Nothing else was right.
I hate that I put logic behind my fucking guesses.
Yes, in the first round, both of you got one right with the little with the 2 extras not included. Second one, Mike got none right with you getting 3 right, and then it went down to you getting only 1 right.
Ouch.
Yeah. But yeah, now it is hey, remember when you weren't happy with the fight that it was shorter with the sisters? This is the best fight in the show.
I bring it on.
It's great.
Oh, it's going to be as Death
and Akame.
Let's go.
Oh, it's great.
I did say
we gotta watch it.
To die a million deaths.
It's real good. It's real good. You get to see something that they hint at ages ago, and they finally do something with, and it blew my mind. Let's just put that way. Not saying anything else, but Mike, where can people find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at CaptainK42. Check out my quick thoughts on letterboxd.com/CoachK42, and you can find me in all the various Facebook groups just at my name. You can check out Renegade Pop Culture on Facebook and Twitter at Ren Pop Culture. Look for us on Podchaser and the Banana Meter. Listen to all of our podcasts on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc. And last but not least, everything can be found at RenegadePopCulture.com. Need an escape? So do we.
Absolutely, MSO.
And you can find me on Twitter at Kiva028.
And you can find me everywhere at Organoid0. And we are in the end with the episode that is the title of the anime, which I love when they do that. Akame got killed.
They said
everybody. They did. All right. See you in the last one, guys.
Peace.